So I guess I'll say I love my home. I live in a not too big condo, and it's really with my partner, and it's really cozy and warm. And I've been away from home for a while as I have served down in Olympia, and so it has reminded me just how much I actually love my home here in Seattle. My favorite spot in my home might be my living room couch. When I'm home, it's a place I spend a lot of time. My living room has lots of windows that look out just onto the street, and there's lots of trees, and it's just feels really cozy and great. And many evenings in Seattle, which can be dark and cool, I just sit on the couch with a throw blanket and my cat on my lap, and it's just really cozy. And we have a fireplace in the living room too, and it just is a place that I often go just to kind of unwind and relax, listen to music, talk with my partner, sit with the cat. So I often just look forward to getting home, either in the evening after being at work or out otherwise, and just really can picture kind of coming up the stairs of my building and down the hallway to my apartment and opening the door and just really feeling sort of calm and relaxed when I walk in the door. It just feels like a real transition from the hallway to my apartment to getting inside. And it feels safe and calm, but also really, really comfortable. So there are a lot of things I like about my home. So I like when I'm sort of an introvert, so I like to go home to sort of unwind, but I also love to have friends over and welcome them into my home, and that will usually happen in the living room. And it's just a great place to feel close with other people, and to feel like I can help create an atmosphere where people feel comfortable. So I love that. I think I love the evenings there. That's when I'm most often in the living room, and the light changes, and I love opening the windows and feeling the breeze and hearing the breeze come through and kind of feeling like I'm comfortable indoors but have a connection to the outdoors. All of those things. There are some things I would say that one thing about my living room is just the way it's situated. If it's raining really hard outside, can hear the raindrops on the flue in the fireplace. And it always makes me feel fortunate to be safe from the hard on-rains that are happening outside. It's almost like an automatic thought when I hear those raindrops on the flue and on the fireplace.
Great. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
My walk-in closet.
Okay. So, tell me a little more.
My walk-in closet, because, I love doing electronics. I fix electronics, so that's where I just stay, and it's just like my space, where that's where I do all my things. I do not get bothered. That's so I can concentrate on doing electronics. And my wife knows that when I'm doing electronics, do not bother me.
Okay.
It's a fragile thing to do. That's my favorite part of it. of the house
Mm.
and the outside, doing gardens, planting. That's what I'm mostly at during the day.
So, you said walk-in closet,
Yeah.
right? Is this a walk-in closet that you have now, or you did have, or
I did have.
how big was it? Or
It
when
was-
you do, what do you mean by electronics?
Like laptops. My family to come. Hey, can you fix this for me? I was like, okay. So then I made my personal walk-in closet into my shop, my electronic shop for family.
Great.
They can't really afford it, so they asked me to, hey, you can fix it. Can you fix it? So I try my best to fix it for them. So then that's how I get a little money. I just told him, hey, I don't want your money. I'll just fix it for you because I have nothing else to do. When I go in there, it's like, oh, like, man, a lot of things to do again. But then I tend to finish it because I'm the type of person, once I touch it, I gotta finish it. I can't just throw it away. I gotta finish it right there. Until it's done, that's when I get out, happy, give it back. I'm happy, they're happy, we're all happy. I love helping people. Like, let's say before bedtime, if my kids can't sleep, I gotta tickle them, make them get tired until they crash out. So that's my favorite time of the night, before bed.
Nice. Can you tell me a little bit more about that time? This was just before, during, after?
Because my kids, because actually my baby, when he can't sleep, so I know he's hungry. He'll keep jumping around until he eats. That's when he sleeps. But then I feed him and then play with him. Same with my second oldest one. But my second oldest one is like just a little play with him. He'll just crash out. Okay, Daddy, I'm tired. I'm asleep. I'm gonna night. But my youngest one, my baby, he won't stop. He won't stop until he sees me like, oh, okay, Daddy gonna night. Daddy gonna sleep. That's when he said, okay, I night. He warns me out. He's the youngest, but he's the active one. He's an outgoing kind of kid, hyperactive. All my kids are.
So when they go to sleep,
Until when they go to sleep, that's when we ease our minds. Oh yeah, now it's a relaxed time to
Great.
watch them sleep until I fall asleep.
yeah, it's a relaxing time.
Yeah,
Great. Well, thanks a lot. That's it.
no problem.
Yeah.
So immediately what comes to mind is really not my everyday home, but my parents' home. So the home where they've lived now for probably the last 25 years, and it's their kitchen. And it's largely because as a family, we spend a lot of time there. Obviously, there are functional things that we're doing in that kitchen, like cooking and cleaning up, but we also spend a lot of time together as a family, eating meals and just talking and connecting together. And so in addition to kind of like all those reasons I love it, it's also, the space is also very open and gets a lot of sunshine. And it's just a very warm space, not only because of kind of the bond and connection, but it's physically a warm space in the home. And then there's a kind of like a sort of a little island divide, and on the other side is a table. And I guess, I've spent a lot of time not only as a kid in that kitchen, but also as an adult, and cooking with and for my parents, and then really spending time around the table, eating and fellowshipping together. Having meals together around the table, both dinner and breakfast on the weekends. We would have friends come over and join us for meals. We'd often be debating things and reading and listening to music and just spending time together.
Nice.
Yeah. I guess, there are many that come to mind, but I guess the one I'll think about more immediately is our Saturday mornings. I'm going back to my parents' kitchen again, or my parents' house, I should say, and specifically their kitchen. And typically every Saturday morning, my dad would and continues, if we're there, to make pancakes or waffles or just something relatively substantial as a breakfast. And it's time for us, again, I think a lot of times people think of a meal that gets shared as a dinner meal.
Yeah.
And yet, a breakfast meal on the weekends is something that we routinely share together when we're all together. I feel really positive anticipation. I feel safe. I feel connected. And I feel real intense gratitude to be able to spend that time with my parents and my sisters when we're all together.
Great. Thank you.
Oddly enough, it's been Nicholsville. I've been homeless for the past 2 years, and my childhood wasn't really anything special, but Nicholsville has been the place I felt most at home. Ever.
All right. So here at Nicholsville, is there what's a specific place here that's your favorite, place?
The smoking tent! Just because that's where we play D&D.
Can you tell me a little more about that?
Me and 2 other campers are almost always in the smoking tent, role-playing like big old nerds, because that's what we are. And we just sit and make up crazy stuff that happens in these worlds that we're role-playing in, because we're role-playing in 4 or 5 different worlds right now. Or different multiverses, I should say. And it's just wild and fun, and we have a murder investigation going on, and a giant war going on, and a crazy adventure through hundreds of different worlds going on, and all sorts of stuff. It's very entertaining when you're a nerd. Not many other people can get into it, but being a nerd, it's easy to get into stuff like that.
I've played a little D&D in my day.
Well, it's got tables, for one. It's open enough to get a nice breeze. And shady, because it's a tent, technically, but it doesn't cover the sides. It just covers the top. It's more of an awning than a tent. But it's just a nice little place to sit and chill. Since I've been here, I've felt really good. Just good in general, just because I came from being on the streets in a place with no services like Seattle to a place where services are abundant, and it was really easy to get in here, so yeah. I just feel really good in general. Every waking moment I feel pretty good, even with my basic anxiety that I have to deal with and all the other mental instabilities I have. But it's comfortable, it's livable, it's community, it's friendly. It's a very nice place in general, just the whole camp in general. But the smoking tent, usually we just sit in there and role play, so I'm just enthralled in being a nerd the whole time I'm in there, not really feeling much except for laughing at the craziness that we come up with, because we come up with some pretty freaking crazy shit.
Nice. A favorite experience or a moment
Actually, that
home
is
now or in the past?
Yeah. That actually would have to be my 17th birthday. Back when I was still living with my mom and her husband, and I was in high school, and brought like my best friend over, and we smoked a whole fuck ton of weed and just watched anime and cartoons and played video games until like 3 in the morning. It was fun. It was a good Friday night. It was the best Friday night I'd ever had, but it also happened to be my birthday, so made it even better.
And where was that in the home?
It was still in Texas, actually, but it was me, my mom, her husband, and my friend were just all hanging out, just smoking hella weed and all together, just having a blast, having a good old time, eating random cake balls and brownie bits and sweets that my mom had made and lasagna. No, manicotti, not lasagna. It was good.
Was there a specific area of the house or the place you were living?
No.
No. It's just important. That sounds great. Thanks. Thanks a lot. That's it.
You know, my favorite place in our house is we converted a small attic room into kind of a kids' playroom and TV room. And I go up there at the end of the day after putting the kids to bed, and it's usually a mess with costumes and Legos and stuff everywhere. But it's a nice reminder of all the activity that happens during the day when I'm here at the office. You know, it's sort of an Alice in Wonderland room. I'm a pretty tall guy, and you kind of have to hunch over in the eaves in order to walk around a staircase to get there. It's got a nice couch in there that the kids love to jump around on and sit and watch a movie on. And for us, it's kind of a small space. We're a pretty large family. There's 5 of us. I've got 3 kids under 7. And so we all kind of fit pretty snugly in there together. But it's really wonderful on those kind of fall and winter days when you've got everybody together having some quiet downtime, or everybody together and having some fun, rambunctious time. Yeah, you know, when you've got 3 kids under 7, you spend a lot of time on the floor, for sure. But, you know, it's got sort of a sectional couch, and there's one little spot that my girls call the princess spot, which is the sort of the prime real estate on the couch. And so there's a lot of discussion over whose turn it is that day to sit in the princess spot. And then close second is getting the chance to sit with mom, and then the sort of third place choice is getting a chance to sit with dad. So it just gives you a good sense of the hierarchy, of course, in our house, but also it's just a wonderful spot for us to relax and have some downtime, whether that's quiet or whether it's loud. Probably my favorite experience in our house is on the weekends when we get a chance to have the kids, but also have them have some quiet time on their own. And my wife, Katie, and I get a chance to go out onto the front porch and have a cup of tea and have some quiet time with each other. We live at the intersection of a very busy street and a very quiet street. And so it's a wonderful chance to watch a lot of folks who are biking through the neighborhood on the quiet street, and then watch the hustle and bustle on the busy street at the same time. So it's a nice quiet moment for us that we get a chance to do kind of in the nice weather, but also in the rainy season too. For me, the anticipation is about the calm that is coming. And that's a wonderful moment to know that we've set up a precedent where the girls really know that this is our time to have some quiet moments. We call it our tea time. And to get a chance to feel that coming in the morning. So when you're cleaning up the breakfast table, the kids know that it's their time to have some independent play, but we also know that as the tea kettle's boiling, we can get a chance to have a little quiet moment and catch up on what we might have missed talking to each other about during the course of the week. And we feel so privileged to be able to do that, knowing how many folks don't have the ability to have those quiet moments, let alone have quiet moments under cover and in shelter. It's something that we both really love and we both don't take for granted.
Nice. Great. Thanks.
Kitchen is my favorite place. Reason for that is because I am the mother of the house. You know, I have to cook. That's like my everyday thing. I gotta cook, gotta clean. I just like to stay in the kitchen. If it's not the kitchen, then it's the living room. Not the bedroom, the living room. Because basically the living room is our bedroom with my kids. The TV's right there. Those are the only two places.
And did you have a kitchen that you liked that was your favorite?
Yes, our last place. It was because the place we were staying at, it was more like a how do I say this? Like a hangout, like a recreational place in the back of the property we're staying at. My husband renovated the entire thing and it came out to have a bedroom with a fireplace, a living room, his walk-in closet, and my kitchen and dining room. And it's maybe 3 of these size of the security box right now. It's the size of that. 3 of that, and my husband made it all possible for us.
And your kitchen, what?
It's because it reminded us. Our last home is because anyone that comes over to visit, they feel like they're back home on a farm. They just walk in and it reminds them of home, you know. And then when they step back out the door, they're like, oh, we're in Washington, you know. But stepping into our home, it reminds them growing up on the farm with their grandparents, the pigs. It's like outside house, outside kitchen. I didn't have a running water. I refilled the buckets and container water. That's how I hand wash my dishes. That's how I do it, old-fashioned way. The one here, it's because the environment, the setting of it feels, it's an indoor house, but it's just a feeling of it, the vibe. You know, them reminding them, you know, my uncles, my cousins that come in and goes, oh man, every time I come in here, it feels like we're back home, you know, by the beach, growing up on the farm. It's just a vibe there. But when you step back out the door, they're like, oh God, we're back here in Washington. We're in Washington. So they turn around and can we come back in? You know? It's just the vibe there. It's the feeling. It's like an outside kitchen. Growing up was my grandpa, we had separated from the main house. And in the main house, we have a regular kitchen, a dining room, living room, a bedroom, everything in the house. And then you walk outside, then you have another space, like how we have a tent kitchen out here. But this time we have a sink. We have the big stoves. You know, the farm is right next to it. So it's like pretty much everything's right there. It's open. You can have the wind breeze blowing in and you're not going to say, oh, you're cold. But no, you can feel the mango dropping on top of the roof. You know, all like that. You can hear the pigs, the roosters right around you. The geckos. It's fun. The ducks right next to you. I really miss home.
Yeah.
I really do. I would say my past home would be our apartment in Federal Way. No, actually, my house in Kent. I know it's the same answer as my husband. He gave in with a walk-in closet. But our home in Kent, because it's where I had my first child grew up, and then I had my second child grew up, and then the baby grew up in there. Being is that my mom was here in the home, my dad was here, you know, my sister lived upstairs. We were downstairs. Everything. It's just the feeling of having your mom and your dad around in the home.
Can you tell me more about that experience? Or did you have a specific moment when you all were together? Or
yes, it was Thanksgiving. My family. We never sat. We don't sit down and eat together as a family. Everybody has different times when they feel like eating, when they want to eat. But no, it was just like Thanksgiving and Christmas. That was those two. That was the first time you ever was going to see my family come together. But then as soon as the clock struck 12, okay, goodbye. Everybody goes their own ways. It cracked me up because why? My mom was like, hey, where's everybody going? Oh, we're going our way. We're going to the store. We'll be back. Leave all the kids with her. That was the one. It was Thanksgiving, 2012. The year I gave birth to my son, my oldest. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. That's all.
Probably my favorite place is we have a bay window with a built-in bench that's right on the facing the street, and it's on the south side of the house, so when it's cold out, that it gets a lot of sun, and so it's kind of a cozy place to lie down. I can lie down there and read. I can lie down there and check what's going on in the neighborhood. Often ends up in me taking a little nap. It's great because it feels like I feel like I'm both like snug in my house, and I got glass all around me, and it's like 5 feet up off the street, so I'm kind of overlooking the neighborhood a bit. So I feel like I'm both part of the neighborhood and safe in my house at the same time. And we kind of compete for that spot in the house a little bit. Two of us, it's a pretty wide bench, so two of us can fit on there pretty easily. On a work day, I'll come home, and just depends on how I feel. Sometimes the first thing I'll do is just go over there and lie down if I'm kind of tired. Sometimes, hang out with folks, but I'll, eventually wind up over there checking emails on my phone, or, it's also in the living room, so it's a place where you can go sit down and, sit and have a conversation, or kind of lie down, or throw a couple pillows up against the wall and lean back and just chill. It's definitely a place that's like kind of guard down, relaxed, not city council member Mike, but just hanging out at home Mike. But it comes up in multiple different ways at different times, but that's usually how I feel. So I guess it's kind of when I come home from work, and I bike to work every day, and I live in Fremont, kind of up by the zoo. So my day ends almost every single day, unless I'm not coming directly from work, with a bike up Fremont Ave. And so it's steep and long, and I bike a fair amount. I've been bike commuting for years, and that hill still just gets to me. It's just steep enough and just long enough that no matter how good a shape I'm in, it's like it always kind of kicks my butt. So I'm usually sweaty, and I get up, and our garage is in the kind of back of the lot. So I go down our driveway and put my bike in the garage and lock it, and then walk in the back door. I may be physically tired, but I'm not sleepy because I've just been working out a little bit on the commute home. But also, like, my day at the end of that ride is kind of purged from my mind. My bike rides, I'm thinking about stuff, but usually that hill, it's like I'm breathing hard and everything, and it kind of just washes away. And so I walk in the back door, and the back door kind of opens into our kitchen, and then sometimes there'll be 3 or 4 people sitting around or standing around the kitchen cooking or eating or talking. Sometimes neighbors are over, and there's something going on, and I just drop right in. A lot of times there's nobody there in the kitchen, so it's just like, hello, I'm home. And never know what I'm going to hear. Is my wife there? My older boy's just off in college this year. My younger boy will be home. We have a woman from Pakistan who's living with us. My in-laws recently moved from Alaska down to Ballard, so occasionally they'll take the bus up and just hang out at our house. And then sometimes it's just nobody. It's just quiet. But that moment of kind of walking into the house, I feel like I've kind of washed myself of, I don't feel dirty working, but it just kind of cleaned myself off mentally, and I'm into my house. I don't really know what I'm going to run into, which is I like about my house. It's always surprising. But it's always a moment of kind of just excitement, also kind of relaxation because I'm home. Whether I'm going to go take a nap or have a beer or have a bite to eat or sit down with my kid and work on the homework or, maybe go back out and go for a walk with my wife. It's just like, it's great. Feels that's home for me right there.
My favorite place was the bedroom. And the reason I like the bedroom best is because that's where me and my son's mother painted it and designed it together in different ways that we wanted each side of our room. And when I entered inside the room, it just made me feel a whole lot better because that was a relaxing point that we had together where we were just laying down or pop a movie in or put some music on. We had a little fountain on the top of the dresser, and so we turn the lights off and then the fountain would be going, so that would relax us both and put us to sleep. And she spent her whole time, the whole labor inside the room, and that's where she went through the start of the labor pains and everything. And So that room will always be in my mind forever. And that was my favorite place, and that was in Kansas. My favorite place inside the home. That's the reason why I thought it was a favorite place. It's a lot of saying favorite place. Huh? Before I go in there, there would be, a lot of tension because of like different things that would be going on inside in my life, whether it be work, financial things, just people in general, or just myself. And once I went into the room, since that was the place that we designed together, it just put everything at ease and made me feel a lot better. And once I left the room, I also felt better anyways, because inside the room it relaxed me. And then I could just go to work and continue with my life like I was before. My favorite time is, and I talk about a lot, is whenever I was younger. I was 12 years old and I was living in Tennessee, and I wanted this PlayStation 2 really bad, and so I didn't know how to get it, and my grandpa told me I had to find out how to work for it. So I was going around trying to find out how to work for it, and I got a job at an auction house making $10 a day, and I saved up all my money. It cost $120 for the PlayStation, and so I just worked for a while and made it, working once a week. Just saved up $10 until I made it, and I always remember that. That was my favorite experience in the house. That was pretty cool. It was a two-story house, lots of acreage on it. So I always had fun out in Tennessee. There, excuse me.
No, it's fine. So you got the PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
And then, so your favorite moment was getting the PlayStation, or how?
Like working for it. That was my first time actually working, like for anything, and then like made me feel really good. The first time ever feeling like I could do something good for myself.
Interesting. So it was about like working to get something for the home.
There you go. Yeah.
And then how was it when you finally brought the PlayStation into the home?
I mean, it was cool because that was me that went out and got it, and even though I was asking for it, I wasn't given it, and then I was just taught that I needed to work for the things that I got, and still to this day I still feel the same way, even though I'm staying where I'm staying.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like if you want something in life, you got to work for it, and that was my favorite experience. Just because I learned something that I still know today. Nothing comes free.
So you brought the PlayStation through the door. No one even knew that you had bought it because you just bought it with your own money.
Yep.
So what were people's reactions?
Oh, they were proud of me. They were definitely proud of me. They had no idea that I was doing it, and then they asked me how. And then they didn't know that I was even saving my money. They knew I was going there and working, but they didn't know I was saving my money up for it. And then when I bought it, they were just proud of me. So that made me even feel better about myself.
Nice. Thank you.
Of course.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is my couch. Laying on my couch, which is, it's a long sectional kind of thing. Either reading or on the computer or watching a game or something. So the couch.
The couch. Nice.
Yeah. And other places around my yard, I do when the weather gets to be like spring here, where we're almost there. I like to be out in the yard and pulling weeds and kind of getting it, working on the yards, the landscape. I think I get home and I spot the couch, and then I kind of get a couple things done, and then kind of get. Sit down, get comfortable, get relaxed, read or fall asleep. It's kind of you don't really make the choice; your body makes the choice for you. Yeah. Sort of what you're doing.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's not every day. But at least at some point in the day.
Yeah.
I am on the couch or in a comfortable chair. So
nice.
That's a real luxury.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a tiny bit about this couch? It's sectional.
Yeah, we've had it since we moved into the house 13 years ago. So we're starting to talk about do we need a new couch? But it's a good, comfortable brown suede couch.
Nice.
It still looks decent and it's soft. Yeah, I think, the first thing that comes to mind is Saturday mornings with my wife and my daughter, and we're sitting in the kitchen on the stools, like kind of the little countertop thing there where we're sitting there, and one of us is making the egg sandwiches and the coffee and sitting down, and sometimes my daughter's got a friend with her that slept over or something. We'll do that tomorrow morning, no doubt. Sitting there eating breakfast. Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think you picked that?
Because we're all together. We don't have, usually Saturday's kind of wide open. We don't have anything. It's not Tuesday when you're getting up and scrambling out of the house, and you've got time to actually make breakfast and enjoy each other for a little bit. And before we're all kind of scattered in different directions or on our phones or whatever comes next. You're eating, at least for 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, there is something to like weekend mornings.
Yeah.
With family.
Yeah, I love the weekend morning. Yep.
Great. I think that's great.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet.